Welcome to the world of web technology and its application. My name is Dr. BASAVARAJ GN. Let's know the major course outcome of our subject. So here the students will able to learn what is an HTML and CSS and how to create tables and forums using HTML and CSS, and also you're going to learn in JavaScript and then PHP. At the end you will going to learn JavaScript framework. So before you will get to know what is an subject, first you will learn the basic terms. What is an internet and web? So internet is a global system where you will interconnect in different millions of devices along with any mobile, even printer, so that they are connected and share their information. Such a global system we call it as an internet. However, web is another name for www, which is nothing but an World Wide Web, which is a subset of an internet. And we can access all the web pages using a web browser. The web browser might be of any companies like, from a Google, there is a Chrome, from a Microsoft, there is a Microsoft Edge. And usually the students believe that the internet and web is one and same, which is actually not. Please make a note. Internet and web isn't different. Internet is only a system where it make an information to be exchanged or shared. However, the web is enabled to access the information, access the website pages through a web browser. That's the main key differences between our internet and a web. Now we will jump into our subject. What is an web technology? What are the web technology tools? The main definition of a web technology is how a communication is established using an markup language and multimedia packages. So what do you mean by markup language? Say here you could see there is an markup. So here there is one markup you could observe. See, this is a markup. So here whenever any sentence which is supposed to be get corrected. So usually in our primary school, if a student make any one word mistake, we usually make it a mark. Similarly, a one word is marked such that I can do bold, italic and underline. Such an tag languages we are going to be use it. And that is not a programming language. It is purely a web markup language, and we are going to be use an multimedia package. So what is this multimedia package? Multimedia package, it refers to video, audio. So one video you could going to run, and again audio and MP3, and you could see the animation. So on combining all these, say multiple media, we could develop one website. You might see any e-commerce website, you could take Flipkart, Amazon, and all those millions of pages, and that each pages you will get an audio, video, not only an text. This can be happened only if you use it with web technology tools. So what are those tools? Like HTML. You could see this example. First one, HTML, hypertext markup language. Second one, CSS, cascaded style sheet. Third one, JavaScript. The basic terms to know our subject is required is HTTPS. So what do you mean by this? HTTPS, hypertext transfer protocol. And you could see there is one S. So what is the meaning an S here? It gives an security. Whenever you log on to any web page in a browser, say if you write only HTTP, it can be easily tracked. So S refers to security. So now we will go to the next second term. So what is the second term? You could observe. So uniform resource locator, where actually web resources have been loaded in the server. Next, another term of our subject, that is www. that is World Wide Web. So why should I have to be learn this web technology? So what is the use? The first usage, you could able to create your own website, and second, you get a job of a role of web designer or a web developer. So that is why you should learn this subject. So ultimately, web technology deals with developing, designing the new website where you could load it on a server. So now we'll go to the next slide. So in this slide you could see, so what are the major content I am going to be cover in our module 1. So we are going to be cover, say, what is an HTML and their syntax, and very important, the format of an HTML and a quick tour of an HTML along with some semantic elements. Let's take out one by one, and let's see the what is mean by HTML. So what is HTML? The expansion you can see is the first hypertext markup language. Here the hyper. So what is the meaning hyper? So here the hyper here it refers jump from one web page to another web page. Text, right? So as you know, there is a sequence of character, and markup, as I said in very previous, say any word which is highlighted either for a bold, italic or underline, markup language. It is not a programming language. Say it is a very key point you should have to be note. Say this is the one where it is not a programming language. So this is very important to note down. So programming language, what we will do, we will going to be make it compile, we will run dynamically, and we will execute, we feed an input and we will expect an output. But here we won't do need of any compiler, rather we required only a browser. So first and foremost, HTML is not a programming language. Then what type of language it is? So it is an markup language. So what is an markup? So here let's see with the example. M stands for markup. Example, a Smith learning WT. So I learning is an circled. I marked it. Clear? What I will do and mark, suppose I do a marking, that word learning I can do bold it, italic, and I do underline also. So I choose a particular word and I marked it using a tags. So the program, whatever language is okay, we call it as an HTML. Such languages, what we call it is an hypertext markup language. Okay, so let's see what is the term. How you do markup? We will do markup using tags. So tags are used to describe the web pages. We will going to be seeing in the next coming slides. Okay. So what is the major usage of our HTML? So major usage of our HTML, you could see it is used to create a web pages or a web document. So which includes either text, images, audio, video, and hyperlinks to other document. You might see in a one web page, if you have a click next button, so it will switch to the next web page. So that's how from one web page I could jump from one web page to the another web page. So that process what you call hyperlink. So it is linking from one document of a web page to another document of a web page. So what is called an hyperlink. So all these included in the web page. To support, we required one language which is a markup language, what is called HTML, hypertext markup language. So now we will move on to the next slide. So it is a very important question. If you know web technology, it is a fundamental for any student should know how the format should be there for any simple HTML program, right? The first and foremost, so you could see on a slide, there is an one line, doc type HTML, which is enclosed in an angular bracket with an hyphen symbol. So what is this doc type? So doc type, first I will explain it, then I will go to the next format. So doc type, you could see here, doc type means it is a document type definition, that is called doc type. So it informs to the browser, I am using HTML type of file. So please make a note. It never tell you, okay, it never inform to the browser which version of HTML I am using. No, it only informs, say, I am the file of HTML. So that is what the first line meaning. So DOC means document type, right? This is, it informs what type of document. So it is belongs to the document of type HTML. Then the tag begins. Let's see the previous, continue our formatting. This is the major format of our HTML, and thus every HTML language program code, it always starts with a tag HTML. You will observe, and in this HTML there is an always ended with okay, one more, there is a forward slash. You could observe, this is an HTML outer and it is an end. This is the beginning tag, this is a tag. Whenever you are enclose any keyword with an angular bracket, we say it is a tag, and in this tag I have started and it is ended by using an forward slash. It indicates the end of the HTML. Next, in inner you could see there is an header. So what happened in this header, say there is, you can write, okay, and one more title. So what is this title? You might see in your web browser at the tab, you will get it, whatever the text you have written. So how could I write a tag? Say the title in an angular bracket forward slash angular bracket. This is what which is residing inside the head. The title won't be displayed on this web page. Okay, it will be displayed on the tab. So what is this tab means? You know, see here, sorry, this is an web page, and you will get, okay, here the welcome to website. So you get an welcome to website on the topmost tab. So next, thereby, since it is written at the top, so it is called as an header, head, okay. Next, the body, whatever you written, so this is what we are call it as a body, the web page content, where whatever you write, say for this line, and web page that viewers can see, which is enclosed in the tag that is called body tag. So this is the basic format of our HTML. Next, so here you will going to be know little bit more on HTML format if it is asked for more than 8 marks. So obviously you will need to take one certain example. Let's see this example. The very first one, as you know, say it is informed to the browser. You might use then Firefox, Google Chrome, alright, whatever, Google Edge, whatever browser, always the browser should inform, say, what type of file you are writing. So that is why the document type is HTML. That is the first point. Next point, see here, this the HTML is an outer tag, you could observe, and in this HTML there is an head, and you could observe there is an, okay, language, ENG. What is ENG? ENG stands for English. So the HTML you could write it in any of the programming, okay, their local language, but whatever the web page, my web page which I am going to be creating, which is of type English. So in this header you will enclose it, the title, hyperlink, one page to another page, then you could include JavaScript also. And later on, whatever is required to be written in a web page content is supposed to be viewed by a visitor, who will visit your website. That content you should have to be enclose it in a body tag. Always you should know the beginning tag should be an angular bracket. However, the ending tag should be in a forward slash. So thereby it indicates, say, the given tag is ended. You could observe. Now onwards we will going to be learn basic tags. So let's we call it as a quick tour of our HTML elements. In this, so foremost the very basic tags are, the very first tag is, this is a paragraph, and BR, it is a short form for break. And next one is H1, it is H1 stands for header. Next H6, it stands for header 6, it is the smallest font. Next 3 most important, it is frequently we are going to use it in our HTML code, that is an angular bracket B, that is a bold, and another in angular bracket, that is an I, so italic. Next an U, that is an underline, and one more and tag, that is called marquee. So what this marquee tag? The marquee tag will enables the text to roll from right side to the left side in a web page. So these are the basic tags which we are going to be used in our HTML. Coming to the very first example. So we got to know what is an HTML. It is an hypertext markup language used to create for web page. And also we have very quick tour about the HTML basic tags we have seen. And now it is a time to step into the actual hands-on session to learn the HTML coding. So here I am going to explain with an example so that you will better know the concept, what are those basic tags, and upon saving it, the given program, how to save and how to view the web page. Let's start it. So my first HTML name, so usually the name of the file should be with an extension .html. As you know, there is a text, there is a .txt. If it is a document, .doc. Similarly, our markup language have with an extension .html. So I named it for my first language code, that is an example1.html. This is the code as a very first step, where I could write in a web page, welcome to my first web page. And in this tag you could observe there is an you could observe here there is an one line I have used. So in this line the body background is yellow, the web page body background is an yellow, and there is an welcome to the first page. This is an header one. Header one is a little bit bigger font, you will get it. And of course the title is written in example first. Example first is our first title. So it will be in the first tab. Let's see how it looks. And there obviously any HTML code always begins with an tag HTML and ends with an /HTML. You could observe. So started with an HTML tag, ended with a HTML tag. Now this code, markup language code, how to execute it? Let's see. How to run the HTML code? A very first step, you type neatly that code whatever I shown, example.html, and you save it in a notepad, first step. Next, what is the second step? That file you save it with an extension .html. Next, later on to view it, usually we say run it. So you right click and open that file name using any browser. Usually I recommend go with an Chrome. So right click and open within Chrome. So thereby you could view the output. So let's see how the output will looks, and I will show this one output, example one, which have been run, Okay, you could observe, let me maximize it. Say here the code web page, this is an actual started whatever in the color yellow, so entire it is an okay web page, it is called body web page. Later you could see that is an URL, and you will observe example first, you can see on the top now, that is an header, right. Example first is on top, you could observe, so that is a name, and welcome to my first web page, you could see this website. Okay, this is the first web page. Once you know how to create the web page, collectively you could upload it the same web pages in a server, it becomes a website, you know. So obviously you could access with one of the URL or www one site name, right. So this is our first example how it looks. Now let's come to our presentation, and so as you all know, the very first step, okay, write the code in HTML, second save it, and also you know how to run it, what I did it in a Chrome, right. Very first example we have been completed. Let's see. So now we will going to be learn the second example. So this is our second HTML code. In this second okay, HTML code, what is the main objective is to display your name and the college name, which is set to be Marque. And of course, I bolded it, one of the message. Welcome to the world of web page. Let me okay explain one by one each line. The first line informs to the browser, okay, it is of type HTML. So once you know it is of type HTML, okay, so the browser will get to understand, okay, the programmer or whoever writing the code, so it is of type HTML, I should have to be displayed on a web page. Second, always every HTML code, you should have a beginning HTML tag. This is a beginning HTML tag ended with another / HTML tag. This indicates the end of an HTML. Second, since in a given web page, I would like to be write my name in a very bold, highest bold, so that I have written header 1. This is what I have marked it. You could see this is what I marked it what as a header 1. I selected, so that is a markup language. Header 1. Similarly, I marked it the name BMSIT and M Bangalore as in bold. First, I bolded it, and I have said do a marque. Marque means from the right side you have to be just flow, you know. So it will flow in a web page. Let's see. And later one more bold, I have welcome to the world of web pages I have written, and thereby you will end up the body. So once you will follow the 3 steps of an execution, you know, first you have saved it in a notepad as with extension .html, and you will try to open it in a web browser, how it looks. So let me run this okay HTML code and see the output. Now I will show the second example. Second example you could see. So in this second example, you could observe the name is okay is coming out from the right side to the left side, and the name, given name, and one of the name BMSIT and M is the name which I get marqued. Marqued means it is keep flowing from right side to the left side. And of course the next one is welcome to the world of web pages. This is the last line, okay. So this is how it is an output of our second example slide. So now we will move on to the next one more example. Let's see the next example. So before we will go to the one more third example, okay, it's a very important question is asked, you can encounter in a previous question paper for 6 marks. So what are all the list, okay, and what are the types of list, how to write the tags for those lists. Let's learn one by one. So listing, the list of an elements, which is then either a sorted or not sorted, how to display in a web page. It is what are those elements? Might be a numbers, might be a name, or might be a name of an objects. So our HTML offers a different way of listing those information and numbering. There are two types of list in our HTML. First one is UL, that is called unordered list. Right? UL. OL. OL refers to ordered list. The difference here is, here whatever the list is there, it displayed in a form of plain bullet. However, ordered list should have a numbering 1, 2, 3, 4 or A, B, C, D, and different numberings we will going to be use it. Let's see in the next screen. Our HTML is not a case sensitive language. First and foremost, you let me have a note it. Not a case sensitive, it refers, you can either use it as an uppercase or a lower case, you treat it as an one and same. So now, how to write an list of an unordered. So there is a tag enclosed in an angular bracket, capital letter UL and ended with a /UL. And in this there are 4 lists. So each one I have written, say ending tag is not by default, it will take by a browser. So now this is the list 1, list 2, list 3. So that is why you have written item 1, 2, 3, 4. And what is the output? How in a web page it is been displayed? In a web page, so it has been displayed in a way of an, you could observe there is an web page. In this web page, you could write it, this content, web page, you could write this list. And here the title and all nothing, is written, right? So in this plain bullet, it will display. This is what we call it as a web page. And you could write the website. So in this web page, there is a different way. In the UL, that is unordered list, here you can insert the type. Let's see what are all those type. Type, first one, disk by default, simple circle type disk. And also you can display, if you say circle, the icon will be displaying circle. If it is a square, you could inform the square. This is the different types of an way of displaying the unordered list. Second foremost, so this is another 4 mark question. So how to write the different tags in our HTML of an ordered list. For an ordered list, the tag is OL ended with an /OL, and again the list items will be written again in the LI. These are indicated a list. And what are those attributes? So attribute, what are the different ways you could represent it. So the first way you could say as an Roman small I. So you will get it in a form I, that is an 1, 2, 3, 4. Capital letter Rome. So this is an capital letter Rome. Capital letter 1, 2, 3, 4 you will list it. Similarly, in a lowercase a, you could display small a, b, c, d. Second, you could list it out using a capital letter A, B, C, D. This is the attribute, the features, you could change it. One more feature, you could display the list in an ordered fashion as like in 1, 2, 3, 4. So different ways you could able to display and list. Since it is an orderly displayed in a numbering fashion, either in a Roman manner, you could display it. This is how you could write it. The output will looks in this fashion. If you choose of a type 1. Now based on it ordered and unordered, on this list, I come up with one more example. Let's get into that third example. So in this third example, always I said the first line is informed to the web browser. It is of type an HTML. First you are learned, you are familiar. Next, in an HTML code, always have an tag, that is beginning tag called HTML in angular bracket. You could see in the second line. And always that beginning HTML should have an ending, say /HTML. And next is there is an one more header 1 is a bigger font, and if you want to reduce little bit, there is an header 2 font, and that is header 2 font is an subject list which have been enclosed within the body. Body is within the web page it will display. Next, here UL. UL means unordered list. Begin here, ended here. Begin, ended. In this, I am going to be list it out, right? LI, and you could terminate, or you will make it ended that list with an /LE. And here I have written a type. So here the type here SE is the one subject name. The type of display is circle. So here you could know this is how the SE will looks. Okay. So obviously, so next you will get to know one more, say square. See, this is the list of type square. So you will get to know one more which is of type of square, and you will get in one more subject, that is CO. The display is like this. Next, list DBMS, and again list Java. So by default list it will take it as an dot. Let's see this output, unordered list, right? So by default it take it as a disk. Disk means small, okay, circle. You will explicitly said, okay, this is what disk, continuous dark, this is an disk by default. If you won't specify, it look like this, dot dbms dot java, it looks in a web page. However, if you want to be display SE as of live for circle, so obviously it looks like in circle. If you want the CO is in a square, so it is of type square it looks. Okay, SE is in circle, CO is in square, DBMS is in disk, okay, Java is in disk. That is the end of our UL tag, and that is the end of our, okay, web page body tag. So let's see, if you type it in a notepad, save it with an example3.html, same code, and if you view it with an web browser, how it looks. Let's see that step. Let me go to our, that is an example3. Okay, you could see this is what the tag example3 ul.html. This is called an head title, and here whatever you see from here to this is called a web page. So now I will maximize it. Let's see. So I will maximize it, and you could able to view. Say I have listed out some 4 names of the subject. The first name I said of an UL, and it is of type, circle. So here you find a circle. Okay, sorry, circle, right? So here also one more second subject, that is an CO, it is of type square. Next, DBMS and Java is of type disk. This is how it will display after running the code of my example3.html listing. What type of listing? It is an unordered listing. So once you know how it works, now it is a time to know, okay, ordered list. You are familiar with the, okay, unordered list, how to list it out. Now it is time to know what is this, okay, ordered list. You already know the format, syntax, rule of our ordered list. So based on this ordered list, let's take over one more program or one more HTML code by name example4.html. So in this code, what I am going to display, here there is a project report content, and in 1, 2, 3 listed format. In order to display such an web page, to create and such an web page, what is the content or a code you need to write? So always our HTML code begin with doc type and HTML by default. And let me explain about what is in the web page. So H2 means header 2, okay, and H2 is always ended with /H2. Next, OL means ordered list, and what type? Is it an small Roman or big Roman, small lowercase or uppercase or 1, 2, 3, what type? So I am going to define it. Either it's of type 1, 2, 3. I am going to be list it out 3. Introduction, background, my solution. So 1, 2, 3. Thereby I ended the tag ordered list. So it is as simple for an explanation. I hope you will as simple you will going to be learn and understand. So here the order list tag is begin and here order tag list is ended, and all the list have been enclosed in this tags. So first 2, 3. So it will inform to the browser how it has to be display. So let's see how the web page you will able to create if you write this code. So now I am going to be run the example 4.html. So let me come out from this presentation and let me go for this ORD. Another example you could see. There is an example for ol.html you can see now on the top, that is the title. Next in the very white screen you are displaying, that is nothing but web page. In that web page there is an ordered list and I created a type 1. So the display is 1, 2, 3, 4. If you created a type is small a, then it will give you lowercase a, b, c, d. This is how it will list the elements, and you could display and frame it as intended by an visitor or whoever designer or a developer. Now let me continue with this. Example 4 is completed. Now at the one more last tag we will going to be learn, that is an A. A means anchor, just like an hook. So what this hyperlink tag will do, say use it to link hook from one web page to another web page. As it name, hyper, jump from one page to another, just hook it or just link it. So for an example, see this is the most everywhere it is used whenever a web page has to be supposed to be link it from one page to another page, and most important attribute of our A, as like an anchor what you say. So there is an href. What is an href? Href, here it is refers, let me go to this so this is an href, and let me select and one pen. So here the H means hyper, ref means reference, hyperlink reference to this website. So for this website I are hyperlink. So that is what the main attribute of our A. For an example, I have anchor, an hyperlink reference to this website, HTTPS, Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secured, that is ecommerce.com, and which is in bold, and one more markup, that is a commercial website, and I did an anchoring. Anchor, so I hooking it from one web page to the another web page. So once based on it, let me see the one more example. Now I will go for example 5. So here in this example, in a given web page, there is an one rolling, that is what using a marquee. Through the marquee there is an BMSIT and M, that text is being marqued. It is been sending from a rightmost to the leftmost, and there is an one image also written, and now I anchor a tag. So as you select, and you will go over here and it is underlined, say it is a color you will get change. Say once you click it, it will visit the website. So this is how you do, you click hyperlink H reference. So you are going to be H reference and link it. So that is how you could establish an A tag. This is what our previous slide, this is an A. So what I did, say I clicked on one file name and or one name, say for an example BMSIT and M. So as you click it, here I written central part or some commercial website. This is the name. If you click the given name, So it will visit the correspondent URL or a website. It can happen with the tag A. That's what we will hyperlink it. So now we will move to and one more last tag, that is called IMG. IMG is the short form for image. So this is what the image tag, whenever you want to be display any image, so you need to be start with an image tag, and what is an URL? This is an source, it's a variable name. So which source, which website? So that website https:// and thereby you will visit the World Wide Web, and this is the site name .com. .com, commercial websites, .edu, education website, .org, organizational website. So I visited one of the website by the name w3site.com, and I will get to the image by lamp.jpg file name. And if the file, that image is not available, unable to load it in that time, ALT means alternatively, it display lamp. Say for an example, the lamp diagram or picture is unable to load it due to a very slow network, then or it might be not in a server, then it will display a text, a lamp. So that is what the name ALT, alter. How much width? If it is a given image, what is the width of the image? 32. Height is also 32. This is how it will shows, okay, the images. And whatever I run, you might have seen one of a web page just now which I have shown. That web page, okay, let me explain how I created that web page. So always I written an HTML with a file name, file name, that is example5.html, and I inform to the browser it is of type HTML and begin the tag HTML, end it. And you might seen with a color, blue color, and the title, the name of the college, which is bolded and highlighted one, and I marked. From the right side it is rolling, and meanwhile there is one underlined one text which is A, so tagged, and H refer to the website. As and when I clicked the name, so it linked to this website, and there I given break, comes given some space, and you might have seen some lamp. Okay, if the lamp is not loaded, so obviously it will say, okay, lamp text. That is the end. So now we'll almost come to the end of our session. Till now, if you listen carefully and if you focus, you got to know what is an web technology, what are the HTML, what is the general format of an HTML, and the tags, ordered, unordered, list, how to run that and how to view it using an Chrome or any web browser of an HTML code, and all the web pages, so that it helps to create an web pages, and one fine day you could able to create your own websites. Thank you.